this because he understands how to
Call
get
that a
open
throw?
in key situations.
I might be old, but at least I don't still piss my pants.
Protect you and your loved ones with Crackem VPN.
Ever heard the game marry, kill? Okay, like, yeah, I'm gonna give you 3 people, and you're gonna decide who will you marry, who will you who will you kill?
Okay.
Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and Tony Romo.
Marry Jerry. He's got all the monies. Probably Tony. Dak Prescott. Gotta kill him.
I'm gonna Romo.
She's gonna with Romo.
I'm gonna marry Dak.
She's gonna marry Dak.
I'm gonna kill Jones.
She's gonna kill Jerry Jones. Who will you marry, kill between Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and then Tony Romo?
I'm out.
Jerry
Jones, you.
So Jerry?
Jerry Jones, you.
Okay.
You.
Who will you marry, Dak Prescott or Tony Romo?
Tony Romo. Tony Romo.
So that means you would kill Dak?
Yes.
Marry Dak, kill Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones, poor Jerry.
Tony Romo.
Why not? He's probably one of the best commentators, announcers on the game right now.
Tony Romo? That's mine. That's mine.
Jerry Jones, right now. Right now.
You heard it here, guys. You heard it.
We need trash can.
Oh, here we go.
AJ, you have to sleep in this for the night. Yeah. Football we already got.
AJ's trying to take a piss right now.
Trash can.
Stickers.
Stickers.
Couple stickies.
Couple stickies.
Yes.
So we got a trash can. We're gonna go test it out in the toy aisle.
You're not getting it first.
First try.
He's not getting it. Give these guys a shot. They'll win a jersey if they get it. Oh, none of us made it. Come on, Dad. You get a free Cowboys jersey if you get it. None of us have made it. Dad's going for a shot. Come on, let's get it. Oh, that was the closest one.
Felt like the closest.
That gross?
Yeah. We all missed it, so don't worry about it. We missed it. You guys going to the game tomorrow? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Us too.
Not only are we giving away 3 jerseys for whoever can toss a football into that can, we're also going to be leaving the can so someone can take that home too.
Look, there's still $15 right set.
What are you doing here?
Game day, baby.
Game day, baby! Woo! Kickoff's a month away.
Yeah, but we gotta get our reps in.
Yeah. They train, we train. Crack 'em, bro.
No, it's 7:30 and it's a Wednesday.
Road pop?
Oh! No, I'm going to work and I'm driving. Get out of my car. Not as you got him.
Super Bowl! Super Bowl! Super Bowl!
Let's get it.
Guys, can we just get one? I mean,
Let's just get one. Doing the Mojo moment. We got Dak Prescott in there. What they do is they're running one play, and then right after they just kick a field goal. TP20 to the
out
outside.
to the left, gets tackled
Swallowed
behind the
up.
line by Micah. Micah and his gang.
The linebacker.
Linebacker gets.
So they're going to come back out. Again, it's going to be Aubrey. He missed his first field goal
Was it
attempt.
short or left?
Aubrey missed left. Let's see if he can put it through this time. It is
Short!
short.
What the?
Over 3.
That was like a 50-yard field goal.
Oh, was it?
That was a 50-yard attempt.
Yeah, but it needed to be 54 yards.
I mean,
that's over
you
3.
still, you gotta at least get the distance.
Go for 2.
You know, get the distance.
Just go for the first down conversion. Kicking is still a big problem.
Yeah, you're gonna run into those, and it's the distance though. Accuracy, okay, you can miss that from 50. I'll give you that. But if you're not hitting it, if you're not kicking it 50 yards,
So the issue right now, that was the third Mojo moment and the third missed field goal attempt. Going to run out here, and TV Tristan Viscano is going to go for his second attempt.
You got to go through all the motions, okay?
Yeah. So what they're doing, they're running the kicking team off. They're practicing in a last-minute situation, having the kicking team try to get out there in time to kick a game winner. There's been no game winners kicked yet,
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Here it is, though. Let's go, Tristan!
Come on!
Here we go. He's hitting this. He's hitting this. Yeah,
What practice is for? Make your mistakes and then correct them.
He's gonna crank this one. He's gonna boot it, and that one is
Far left.
wide
Far
left.
left!
Wide left.
Distance. He's got the distance.
I mean, I don't even know why I'm surprised anymore. Yeah.
So we just lost 4 games on game-winning kicks.
Crosby's available, right?
Yeah, I
someone.
think so. I think.
Gotta get someone. So yeah, he spikes it. Let's get
bring
Aubrey,
Aubrey back out.
Aubrey out for hopefully his first made field goal. 1. Here it is. Let's get it.
Guys, can we just get one? I mean,
Let's just get one. Come on, Obs. Brandon? What's his first name? I mean,
Aubrey.
Aubrey.
I mean, he's kicking from the.
That's a nice kick. He got under it. That's good. Oh! That's one. That's one. That was a nice kick.
I don't think he has much leg though.
Now
I mean,
just-
50
No,
yards,
that
he's
was
gonna
not-
make it.
Now
That
just
was
do
not-
that
like
every
48
other
max.
time.
Yeah, that was almost short.
Yeah.
But hey,
That barely
you know what?
hit, but
I'm
counts.
gonna take it. I'm gonna take it.
What you just did, just rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. Okay, is this-
TV lining up. He's 0-4-2 right now. This is his third attempt. Kicks it and
Wide left.
By,
Get him off, get him off
This
the
is-
field.
Go for
Dem Boys and girls.
I don't think our demographic has any female listeners or viewers. But
Well,
if there is any females and any of the males out there, you ready to boosh it on this fine Wednesday evening? Because we're about to get booshed up, son. But before we can get booshed up,
Been boosted.
crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Ooh,
Oh,
those crispy crack 'ems.
Crack 'em if you
Crack
got
'em
'em.
if you got 'em.
Ooh.
A triple crack 'em on this fine Wednesday evening.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
First show since the NFL draft, and you bet your ass we're going to get into that. But guys, after our 18-hour draft-tacular extravaganza, sitting in this, I don't know, what size is this room? 20 by 10
Yeah.
foot room for 18 hours Wednesday or Thursday, even more because we did the Wednesday main event last Wednesday, and then we did the watch along of Kevin Costner's draft day. So we were in this room for like 22 hours over 4 days.
Wouldn't want to have it any other way
Yeah, it
unless
was
we were
good.
live there at the draft.
That proves that we could travel to Mars together.
I'm saying it was actually, because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it was a 4-day span, but it was actually a 72-hour span because our show doesn't kick off till 6 p.m. and we wrapped Saturday around whatever, 3
Oh,
4
but you're
p.m.
saying I'm just going like total hours that we were in here.
I know, and I'm saying it wasn't 4 days
Right.
worth of hours. It was actually a 72-hour span.
It was why. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Over 72 hours, 22 of them,
We were
which
here.
is almost a third.
That's
It's
messed.
almost a third was spent in here, which is, hey, congrats on that, guys. And again, our second annual Draftacular extravaganza had a ton of amazing guests, a ton of amazing Cowboys content creators.
And if you didn't tune in live, we will be having kind of like a nice little montage recap for all of you to see it.
That's a lot. That's a lot to.
Got to defend our mother here. She said, "What am I not a girl, or what am I not a
No,
female?"
you're the mother of
You're
Crackums.
You're a matriarch.
Crackums, mother of crackums.
The matriarch of crack.
Crackokium.
You're the matriarch of Krakokium.
Crackokium sounds like a Harry Potter drug.
Yeah.
Guys, how are
need my
you feeling though?
Crackokium.
How are your bodies feeling?
Good. Adam was saying.
My back seized up on, I think it was Monday. So I went to the gym on Sunday, and I didn't do any lower back. But Monday, when I frickin' got up, I could barely walk almost. So that
It
was
just shows human bodies aren't supposed
like-
to be sitting all the time.
And
No.
I was showing you guys like how I sit here. My right rotator cuff gets jacked all the time, and not in a good way. Not jacked off or anything like that. It
Nope,
gets
nothing.
jacked up.
And Jack
um,
on.
So like, and just my positions, like your body's sedentary for so long. So we didn't do any like stretch breaks. Getting up and down was day one, and then we kind of abandoned that basically.
Day 3, I was full on perch back.
Oh yeah.
First 2 days sitting up, living through all the draft picks. Come day 3, I was lounging. I was lounging like this.
He was lounging and
yawning.
flounging.
Thing is, day 3 is a.
It's a
you thi-
grind.
well, you think the easiest day is day 1.
Day 1's easy.
That one is
Doesn't
super
help that
easy.
we were screech shotting every
Every trade.
35 minutes.
But day 3 is the hardest because, well, especially for the Cowboys. I mean, day 2 was hard too, a little bit more difficult. It's the amount of picks that you have.
Yep.
And then we had every single guest show up on time.
Oh man.
And so it was like back to back to back to back.
It was great.
Which we love and really happy that everyone showed up who said that they could join us. There's a few guests who we wanted, but they weren't able to join. They had their own thing going on. Look, it's the NFL draft.
A lot of
But,
shit going on. Kind of like the 0 people that invited us on their show. We had to kind of.
Yeah, I wonder why. Like, I mean,
People must know that we do it. This is the thing. It's a little bit more imposing to ask 3 people onto a show. Like if you ask one of us, you're getting most of the time we're overtaken. I'm going to be honest. We're going to overtake what's happening. So it's kind of, I can see where people running something. And I tuned into a few people's afterwards. I went and checked out a couple of the draft taculars that other Cowboys contenters had. And a lot of them would have, like, you know, the 3 to 5 to 6 Zoom conferences going. And
Yep.
for us 3 to join into that with a delay and stuff, I just don't know how well it would work. So, but the draft went well. The Draftacular show went amazing. And now we're fully into Cowboys offseason with the brand new 2024 Dallas Cowboys, baby.
it was funny the way that you were going there. You had the glasses and your head was kind of perched down, so you kind of look like Ray when you were going like this back.
No.
Yeah. What's up, chat? I want to shout out to a couple people in chat. Obviously, Bandwagon Baba was opposed to not being called a female. Ultra Cowboy, who's back from Detroit, says Zeke is playing running backer in a walker. Dak is still booty. Classic Ultra. He's back. Madman is in the chat saying, "Yo," asking us,
Madman.
"Is Gilly returning?" Well, maybe,
Possibly.
maybe with Zeke not taking 21, which we'll get into. Maybe that possibly allows Stephon Gilmore to stay. Who knows?
Has a little sneaky backdoor entry
Yeah.
still available.
And then somebody who was on the Draftacular extravaganza, him and his son Dallas, Cowboy Reg is in the chat saying,
What
"What's up,
up?
boy? I'm working late, so crack one for me."
Oh, we will be.
Absolutely.
We absolutely. We already got to try crack 'em
And then
both.
Stephen White saying Baba with the fire emoji, which, hey, she's available if you're looking for a smoke show, go get some Bandwagon Baba for your time.
All right, guys, biggest Cowboys news this week. A familiar face, a guy that the Dallas Cowboys drafted 2016, 8 years ago. Ezekiel Elliott is back in the star. He is back in Dallas. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Oh, I thought Alex was going to go, "The boys are back in town." No?
No.
Okay, I like it.
Uh,
We reserve that for touchdowns.
Yeah,
That's what
and
we do.
I just didn't bring up that one today, but that would have fit perfectly. Zeke Elliott back in Dallas. I like it, but I don't love it. But you know, we needed another back in the dressing room. So the more that you can shove in there, the only problem is with it is I don't think that Zeke is an improvement from anyone else that we have in the room. Now, you have to add that has that history with Cowboys. He's probably a great locker room dude. He definitely had a lot of snaps with the Patriots last year, a respectable, that's what I'm going to call it, a respectable 3.5 yard per average. Now, the argument is, okay, but maybe a lot of that came from his short yardage game. I mean, you got to show me a breakdown of that for me to buy into it. So I think he's lost that step, but I don't think that's what we're bringing him in for. You know,
I'll also say this, though. That New England offensive line was in the bottom third of the NFL, too,
Truth,
right? So
truth.
I'm not going to say that is going to make him be running for 5 yards per carry, but that 3.5, like that New England offensive line wasn't very good. The thing I like about Zeke is he had, I believe, 51 catches last year?
Yeah.
So that's like, adding that last year for the Cowboys offense, our running backs weren't getting a lot of looks outside of the backfield in the passing game. Zeke's always been a very good pass catcher. He's always been a very good blocker on passing downs. Not only that, but he's Dak Prescott's BFF.
Yep.
So Dacky Boy's looking for him, and when he gets in trouble, he's always looking to where he knows his BFF's going to be. So I don't hate the signing in any means. The Cowboys were already going to be paying him, I think it was $6 million this year anyways. So now they have some incentive type deal where he can earn up to $3 million, I think guaranteed $2 million. So realistically, we're paying him what Derrick Henry got paid and Saquon Barkley got paid to go elsewhere. But they locked into this Zeke contract years ago, and I'd rather them bring him in than some of the other guys still on the free agent market, because he knows the offense, he knows the quarterback. We know he's going to be able to block, and he's going to be able to catch a football.
He checks a lot of boxes.
He does check a lot of boxes. Ant's behind baseball. Can you tilt your mic down a little bit? The focus keeps grabbing on.
Yeah,
there you go.
Right there.
Checks a lot of boxes. A big thing that we said or I said it, I think, and you guys agreed with me. But when Zeke was leaving the Cowboys and we were talking about, do we keep him? Does he go? And I was like, well, a locker room guy. Zeke is always, everyone keeps talking about the leadership in the locker room guy. We saw this tumultuous offseason with Cowboys and lacking maybe that type of locker room leader. We know Dak is the leader. Micah's having these things going around. Bringing Zeke back is also strategical in the sense that, hey, he's a good locker room guy. The atmosphere is what Dallas does need. Ultra saying in the chat, brought in to mentor the young running backs. That's also a thing. I mean, they brought in Royce to 5'9", which I think I'm the only one who says that about Royce Freeman. But now you have a couple of
and that guy's been in the NFL for like,
yeah, you got a couple of Vetty backs,
wow.
Some Vetty backs. World's team in the chat. What's up, boys?
Shout out World's team.
I'm pretty sure that's Paul. It might be Mike.
It's either Paul or Mike.
But Mike and Paul, they both joined us on the draft show. World's team says, need to remember it all starts with the O-line. Zeke Prime, we had Travis, etc. With the improvement to the O-line. That looks to get a new identity in the run game. I think this suits Zeke a lot more.
It does. I'm not going to overshoot what I think he can do. If Zeke comes in and does what he did last year with the Patriots, that's what I'm looking for him to do. The dude has 2,065 attempts in the NFL. So the tread is going to start wearing off at some point. He ran 184 times last year. I'd be happy if he was like between 100 to 150 attempts, and only because that means other guys are showing up and taking the ball too. Royce is also a potential dude who could help share those duties, but is there enough room for Zeke and Royce? Those are kind of the same position dudes, right? I mean, and if you're going to default to one, you're more than likely going to default to Zeke over Royce.
Yeah.
I would assume.
It's going to be like, judging by, unless there's a couple guys that are cut during training camp from other teams that are kind of a little bit better than what we got. You're looking at kind of a Rico and Zeke as a 1A, 1B, and then Deuce Vaughn as your kind of change of pace back. With the Cowboys not drafting a running back this year, I almost want to say that secured Deuce Vaughn's second year in the NFL. I feel like they're willing to kind of look at Deuce a little bit more this year without them having gone out and signing someone, drafting someone. If they would have drafted a running back, say in rounds 2, 3, or even traded up and got one at 4, I would have been kind of thinking Deuce was the odd man out. Now, the three-headed monster that they're going to run with, to me, is Rico, who we want to see more of, Zeke, who we know has lost his step, and then Deuce, who a lot of people are still excited to see because he didn't really get that many chances last year, but he'll get the chance this year, and you'll definitely know if Deuce Vaughn's going to be able to play in the NFL or not by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Specifically that O-line, right?
Hopefully in the first few weeks.
Hopefully in preseason. I mean, but then again, we did see him play in the NFL in preseason.
He did well in the preseason. So you can't preseasons. You make the team in your rookie year, which he did, but to continue to stay on an NFL roster as a running back to prove your reason and to keep a team from not drafting a running back even in the 6th or 7th round where they had 2 comp picks, you got to prove your stay, right? Like Deuce still has to prove that he's not just a family pick or a nepotism pick. He's got to prove that he's got something to give to this NFL franchise. So, and he's going to get the opportunity.
He has. He does have the. He does have everything except for the height. He has the capability to be that guy, right? So if you have the line that's there for him, that's going to allow that little buddy to get through those holes.
That little bug, that little juicy bug.
When we look at last season's running back room, you kind of had a lot of the same guys because we were missing Zeke. So now like a Zeke type running back. So now you got Zeke, you got Royce Freeman. So they kind of set that same type of running back. Then you have Dowdle, who's a little bit more aggressive than Tony Pollard, and then does Deuce Vaughn play that fast splash back? Because you look at their undrafted free agent and Pete that they brought up, he ran a 4.3. He had some speed and he has some explosiveness to him. So they're trying to fill that next person with bargain bizarre dollars.
Yeah. That Pete, like I seen everyone posting about that. His 178-yard touchdown. His only you go on YouTube and you try to find any Pete highlights, you ain't finding them. Let's just say that. And that guy went undrafted for a reason. Sure, he has all the athletic attributes to be an NFL player, but it's also hard to be sold. And it's hard to even be sold on the running back room at all. Like we're kind of, in my mind, we're reaching a little bit. Like last year we went into the season pretty happy with Tony Pollard as our lead back and then Rico Dowdle kind of as that second fiddle. But they did not have a good year last year. Tony Pollard barely broke 1,000 yards. He only had 6 touchdowns. Granted, the offensive line wasn't designed to put guys on their butts. And the Cowboys addressed a big need with the draft in trying to find guys that could maybe put some dudes on their bums.
Well, we look at our offensive play calling for the first part of the season. It was a little all over the place, and then they started to get a rhythm with a lot of the passing. You know, we go from Kellen Moore, they get a new playbook. You get a new RB1. You got a lot of new. And I think obviously we're expecting all your professional football players. Let's see them. This should take 2 or 3 weeks before it becomes normal. So it will be interesting now where it feels like they are trying to align a more traditional kind of running back committee room. But like you said, you're kind of trying to put those pieces in place, but you are missing that kind of pinnacle piece. We're doing it with some old vehicles here. You know what I mean? Like we bought a lot of used cars, and I don't think used cars is necessarily the way to go. Rico Dowdle has the most promise, and Deuce Vaughn to me is just still way too unproven in terms of what he's going to produce for our running back.
I don't want to lean too much into the O-line is that much more improved.
Which it probably we don't. That's
we
not
don't
known.
know.
We don't know at all.
We're hoping
it could be worse.
It could be worse
in year 1.
It could be the same. I think the future outlook seems bright with these guys, but no draft pick is a guarantee. Not even the number 1. So I think that the pieces are good pieces that are put into place to help give it a chance to be better, but we can't just go ahead and say, well, now that the offensive line is improved, we don't know that yet.
Yeah.
You know, what if Guyton fucking flops in the NFL?
Yeah.
Or Cooper Beebe can't snap a fucking football.
Cooper Beebe can't snap a football. Or it takes them 12, 15 games to get up to NFL speed. Like all of these things are just unknowns.
You're just a hater.
Well,
You're such a hater.
I just try to look at things. And
No, it's realistic.
Don't you see all the internet people giving the draft an A+ for the Cowboys?
Which makes me nervous. It makes me nervous.
Psycho.
It makes me nervous. The more
positive
things I hear about the Cowboys draft usually is the worse I feel about it. Like they had technically they had a pretty good draft in most circles last year. And that draft class last year was awful in year 1, right? Sure, the jury's still out a little bit of how they could be, but that's what happens when you put yourself in this corner where you have to draft perfect. The Cowboys made it so they have to draft perfect this year. And if they don't draft perfect and they've now invested 2 pretty high picks in offensive line. We better hope out of all the 7 or 8 picks that the Cowboys had, that the 2 offensive line are the best players on the team, or for rookies at least.
The last thing I just want to say about the running back room,
Say more.
first I hope bring in another guy or 2. I don't care. Let's have a bunch of dogs in that kennel and see who comes out on top. That's the best option for the Cowboys. Even though I know we have got 5 dudes in there right now.
Hey, bring 2 more, and I'm game with that. I'm game with that.
Why not? But Rico Dowdle's last year's numbers:
Ooh.
89 attempts, 4.1 average for 361 yards, only 2 tutties. But he also had 17 receptions out of that 89 attempts. So
what was his average? Sorry,
4.1.
4.1.
2 touchdowns.
That's all right.
That's what I'm saying.
That's good. Anything over 4 is juicy.
If Dowdle is the guy who's going to play that role, then we have enough to then Zeke coming in. Maybe if you even keep Royce Freeman, I don't see a place where it makes sense to have Deuce Vaughn on this team. But that's just my own personal vendetta against the dude.
What about Hunter Lepke? Do you see Hunter Lepke being part of that running back room?
I see Hunter Lepke being part more than Deuce Vaughn, but you've got Royce and Zeke now. One of those guys is the short.
One of those guys is gone, and
one
then
of those guys is the guy, and the other is the short distance dude.
You mean they're not good? You mean between Royce and Lepke, one of them's going to go?
No, I think with Royce and Zeke.
I
I think Lepke's probably going to make the team no matter what.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, me too.
Do you think they'll probably punt Royce before Zeke?
Oh, 100% they will. 100%. If they're neck and neck, which I still think. I actually watched a bunch of New England's games last year, and Zeke's numbers don't show what he was like. The whole New England team sucked. They were all bad.
Yeah.
And Zeke still actually he looked like he had more burst than he did before with the Cowboys. And I might be a homer with Zeke because Zeke is one of my all-time favorite Cowboys. And I love the fact that he's back, but he's coming back a little bit different, fellas. He ain't rocking that fresh 2-1 anymore.
I bet you say that to all the boys.
He's rocking that college 1-5 is Ohio.
Ohio.
Before we get into that, crack me if you got him, son. But he is rocking 15 boys. And I don't know, 15 boys. He is rocking.
That's like that thing I sent you guys with all those comments. That he is rocking 15 boys. Ezekiel Elliott.
I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah.
He is wearing the number 15 on his jersey, is what I meant to say. What do you guys think about that? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you mad that you can't wear your 21? Are you mad that now I have to purchase another Ezekiel Elliott jersey, which I plan on doing?
Oh, I think it's the smartest. Jerry Jones obviously loves it because he knows all of the Zeke Elliott fans of past, present, and future will be coming to buy that jersey, right? So that's another reason why I think Zeke will make the squad. But yeah, I don't hate it. I like a jersey change up. 21's fresh though. 21 is a dope number on his chest. 15, we'll see. I don't hate the look of it. Okay, it's kind of a reverse of the 21 if you think about it. If you flip the 5 over, if you mirror it, it's 21. So you guys
Yep.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So
that's what he kept on doing in his chain.
what we're gonna do is we're just going to cut your Zeke jersey and just
Or we're
Flip it,
gonna
flip it and dip it.
now buy one of the Trey Lance old Cowboys jerseys for pennies on the dollar, and then add Zeke bar off of his old one, and then just sewing it on.
And Trey Lance went to 19. Is that what the number
Went to
change was?
19. Trey Lance went to 19.
I like when players keep the same number for their whole career.
Yes,
Me
so
too.
do
I'm also on that.
This had that little switch up, and
The thing is, but that's also
the rebirthing.
Exactly. So look, he's
He's rebranding, man.
rebranding. He already had that change, so it's not like you think he should be the same going back, but yeah, he's coming back in. I like the post that they did. He's like, I have unfinished business. I want that ring. You kind of obviously going to say something like that, but I like it.
He's like, yeah, I should.
I will get a Zeke 15.
Well,
one side's going to be, I'm going to be like Mama Kelsey. One side's going to be 21. One side's going to be 15.
But you're gonna mess up in the one. You're just gonna have 1-1, so it's gonna look like you have a Micah jersey. But with Zeke, last thing about the 15 is technically he went away from 15 because when he got into the NFL, you couldn't wear 15 as a running back yet.
Right.
So he went from Ohio State, where he wore 15, to 21 in the NFL. But obviously, as a Cowboy, he always wore 21. But it's a little bit. I kind of wish he was 21 in New England, and this was the first time that he was wearing 15. But either way, I'm excited that Zeke's back. I think it's a cool boost to the at least, if anything, like Ad said, the leadership on the offense. Because the guys like CeeDee Lamb was there when Zeke was there for a few years. So it's kind of nice in that regard.
And also, this is little known news about Zeke, but I got the hot inside scoop. He's also changing his name to Zed. Just the letter Z.
Zed. Well, he
Zed
just,
Elliott.
Elliott.
Well, he'd be Z.
Elliott.
No,
Zed.
it's he said Zed. I don't know.
Is he actually? I thought
No,
you
no, I'm bullshitting.
Oh man,
You had me.
You boosted me there.
You boosted me right up. I thought you were being for serious.
No, I'm a little jokey.
Oh,
I'm a little pranky puller.
Zed Elliott.
Just to touch on that, because a nice little segue over to a quick note. Okay, you mentioned Trey Lance getting that new number, switching over, letting Zed Elliott take 15. Well, the Cowboys declined Trey Lance's 5th-year option, sources say.
Good. I mean, which is kind of weird because,
why get it? Why take him?
well, we don't know what the Cowboys are planning on doing with Dak next year. So you'd think maybe with Trey Lance, they possibly would have kept him for the 5th-year option, but it's probably expensive, right? It's probably for what, or they're just not they're not really sold on him, man.
Yeah, well, he's not done enough for us to see anything on the field to know.
Well, it's even saying that decision was essentially made in August when the Cowboys acquired Lance from San Francisco 49ers for a 2024 4th-round pick. Because had the Cowboys picked up the option...
Ooh, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why right now.
You tell me. You tell me why.
It looks like, if I'm looking at spotrack.com, his 2025 option would be $22.4 million.
Oh, yeah, not happening.
Not happening.
Not happening. Although it could end. Imagine Dak gets hurt and Trey comes in and then leads the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, and then it's like now they could have got a huge deal for $22 million.
Totally, but that to me is probably a bigger risk.
What?
Like paying him now?
Oh, for sure it is.
When you don't know, it's like, hey, I don't mind paying for the car once I know how the car drives.
Well, the thing is, without him playing, nobody's gonna come out and offer him $22 million again, right?
No.
Without him playing this season. So if the Cowboys want him back next year, they could arguably get him for a lot cheaper.
World's team says, to be honest, other point of view, we did same with LVE not taking the 5th-year option and re-signed him and ended up saving more on the cap.
Well, that's exactly. That's probably what they're gonna try to do. They're not gonna sign him now. And if they like him, they're going to bring him back for way cheaper.
And I'll say this. I do hope that Trey Lance gets some more playing time in the preseason. I actually don't even remember. I'm sure he did, but I don't even remember seeing him.
No, because he came over to the Cowboys in August, right? So he wasn't ready to play.
Well, I didn't even watch any San Fran games either, but shit, why would I? So I want to see him. I want to see him out there and see what he can do. And maybe he's going to turn me a little bit into being like, hey, it makes sense. Let's let that 5th option slide, and then maybe sign him for another 2 years. Keep him on as a backup, because I think Cooper Rush, he might price himself out of what the Cowboys are looking for, because you know how cheap they are. And if Lance is a serviceable guy who can do exactly what Rush does in a different way, just not lose a football game, that's the kind of backup you're looking for.
That's it. That's all you want. We just need that guy. Just be that guy. That's all we're asking. Kenny, though?
Wow. So as it stands, the Cowboys do not have a quarterback on their roster signed beyond this season. So all 3 QBs are fighting for their lives right now.
Hey, man, it's a contract year for 3 quarterbacks. Who's gonna step up? Who's gonna step up?
Come on.
It's got to be a tough situation as a second or third string quarterback where you're not getting time to play to then try to get a second contract. Whereas like Cooper, the best thing that could have happened for Cooper Rush was Dak Prescott being out for those couple games in 2021 and him going 4-1 or 5-1, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
For the Cowboys, for then being like, okay, well, we got to give him we got to throw some money at this dude, right? If he doesn't play that year, he's maybe never a Cowboy again.
Totally. I mean, and they know he's a serviceable backup. He can handle it. I think when you look between Cooper Rush and Trey Lance and Dak Prescott, Dak Prescott, Trey Lance won't be on the same team. after this all shakes up. It'll be Cooper Rush is a backup quarterback.
Not according to some fans.
Right. Cooper Rush is a starting quarterback. So it's like you're going to trade one of them. I guess with that sense, they're not doing the 5th-year option on Trey Lance. So if they don't do anything with them after this season, they can't trade for him or anything. Like they have to
He's a
do
free agent.
They have to do something with him this season, possibly.
Well, but any team would just be like, the only way a team's trading for Trey Lance is if all their quarterbacks get injured.
Which is very likely on some fucking teams.
Yeah, but I think that there's better guys out there who they could probably pick up when you look at some of these teams like who is Wilson playing for now? Zach Wilson.
The Broncos.
Broncos have like 3 kind of mid-range quarterbacks that I could see one of those guys going before Trey Lance. Again, it all comes down to what Lance can do in the preseason because that's where he's going to have the time to shine.
It's funny when you said Wilson, I thought you meant Russell Wilson. Then I was like, where the fuck is Russell Wilson playing?
It was Broncos.
Barry Grant Jr. says they will keep him. They are just not taking on that big of a contract on a project, so to speak.
Yeah, he's an old project.
Trey, old project Lance.
Here's what I don't want Trey Lance to turn into is a reason for the Cowboys not to draft a quarterback. And I'm not saying they have to spend their number 1 pick on a QB, but I think it's been I mean, how long has it been? Has it been since the Cowboys drafted a quarterback?
Yep.
Like I think.
No, they drafted, I want to say they drafted Will Greer in like the 6th or 7th round.
Okay.
A couple of years ago.
How old is Lance, Alex?
Trey Lance?
Is he still younger than Michael Penix Jr.?
He's almost 24 years old. He's born May 9th.
So he is almost young.
he
He is younger than Michael Penix Jr.
He is. That is true. He's not too old. So
He's only 24?
he'll be 24 May 9th. Yeah.
That's crazy. Really? That's fucked up. I would have thought he was way
So when
older.
you look at a move like the Falcons did, and they're spending a draft pick to get a quarterback, and you look at some of the situations that some of these other teams are in, having a guy that could arguably be a starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys in Trey Lance, from what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
Maybe it actually wasn't that bad of a move. Specifically, you can renegotiate, get a better deal with him. Having him as your backup, and then figuring out what you're going to do with Dakota.
Well, you got to get him. You can't be spending $5 million on a quarterback, on a backup quarterback. Cut that in half. Give him $5 million with incentives over 2 years. I'm happy with that. I don't see him going for that, but if no one else is biting, then maybe that's what you get him for. Again, all this comes down to we need to see the kid actually play in a Dallas Cowboys uniform.
Number 19.
Number
Yeah.
19.
He's got that old Amari
Michael
Cooper.
Gallup?
Yeah.
What the hell's he doing?
No,
out there?
Michael Gallup was 13.
Oh, shit.
Amari Cooper's
Amari
19.
Cooper was
Amari
19.
Cooper.
And then
But
last year, I don't even know if
Overshown took
13.
13.
which is weird. I don't know if I like 13. I wish he would have just kept 35. I think 35 is a cooler linebacker number than 13.
That number is close to your
It
heart.
is, yes.
Well, let's talk about the NFL draft.
I thought you were gonna say, are we ready to do another mock draft?
Oh my God.
I'm all mocked out, man. I am mocked out. Although the mock drafts were fun, and I will say this, out of all of our mock drafts, not a single player that we ever mock drafted got picked by the Dallas Cowboys.
No.
Talked about a lot about the same guys.
Talked about a lot of the guys that got drafted, just never actually pulled the trigger on any of them.
We were looking at Nealon a few times.
Well, and even BB a couple times, and then as far as like Guyton, he was always a little bit further than we ever drafted, and then Maurice, same thing. He was usually like a 4th round pick, so never happened. Just never fell that way.
Well, look, leading into the 2024 season here, what I liked about our mock drafts is it put a bunch of more guys on my radar than I would have had previously for us to kind of watch them out the side corner, out the peripherals, because all focus here is on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But out the peripheral, see how these guys pan out. And we're just hoping that one of the guys that we were high on is a stud. And we can be like, we
told you.
We told you.
We told
That's
you.
a motherfucker.
We told you to take
Mock draft 18. You should have watched it.
Oh, you never give
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
You never give the number that you drafted them.
No,
That-
no,
it was
no,
always
no,
your
no.
first
Yeah.
mock.
Yeah.
Hey, we did 150 mock drafts, and not one of them was accurate.
Well, I will just say this: it is really nice that they're very diligent. PFF is very diligent with updating. That it was kind of slow out the get go, but then as we got like say 3 weeks out, they started updating that draft board quite frequently, and I think that was nice because it changed up and got a lot more accurate as we got closer to the draft. At least
It
I
really
think.
did, yeah. No, it did. I mean, if you look at even just our big boards, this is how I judge our drafting, guys. We had big board players for every single day, and those guys were usually gone by the time the Cowboys got up. So at least we knew they were good players, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Bot G, 20 plus 1 equals $21 for Zeke with a super chat of 1999, and then he does another 99-cent one to make
Hell
it a 21.
yeah, Bot G.
But so Bot G wants
FNA,
21 for
buddy.
Zeke. I don't know if Bot G knows that Zeke's actually taking the 15. Sorry, Bot G, you've already super chat. Can't take backsies.
So you better send us 15 now. Just kidding. Love you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Bot G.
Love Bot G. Love that guy.
I don't know, chat. Let us know what you think. Do you like 21 better on Zeke, or do you like 15? Or are you excited to have Zeke in number 15?
Well, what do like we kind of talked about it, but what would you guys if you had an option? AJ, you kind of said you liked.
I like 21. But look, if it was because he couldn't have picked 15, and then this is where he's like going to get the most energy from, most of that moon energy.
Yep.
Then I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, the whole return of 21, and I think maybe if Stephon Gilmore wasn't 21 last season, maybe he would have came back as 21, but because Gilly took 21, it's almost like that I can't go back to that jersey.
He's tainted
So
it.
now I got to come through with what I'm wearing. I
He's
like
ew, I'm not going to wear an old man jersey.
yeah. 21 and 15, I mean, either of those numbers
What,
were
you want me to smell like mothballs?
Gross.
Ew. Either number I'm all right with for his story. If the 15's a more meaningful number for him,
You've always been a story slut.
I'm a story slut.
I wish he stuck with 21. I'll make it easy. I wish he would have stayed with
Yeah,
21.
you always make it easy.
I'll make it easy, but I'm still going to get a 15.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a 15 as well.
Okay, here's a look at the Dallas Cowboys 2024 NFL draft picks, fellas. So what are we doing with these? Are we just looking at them and then just ranking them, or what do you guys want to do here?
Yeah, I think we could. Well, first of all, before we even get into it, what's your rank of the entire draft?
Like
as
grading?
Yeah, your grade of the entire draft. Now that we've had some time to think about it, hear what other people have to say, maybe look at some footage of these guys who we never really had a deep dive into. What are your thoughts on the draft as a whole?
I watched our reactions to all 4 of the top 4 guys because those are the ones we knew. Like realistically, day 3 from picks round 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Those were all just I don't know who the guys are. Sorry, we're not at that point yet. We're not. I'll be honest. But
Mike Guido from the Grid Network, he knew everyone.
Of course he did.
He knew everyone.
And that we needed Mike Guido with us the whole time. But for me personally, I kind of judge my draft off of the top 4 picks, which I know is not the greatest strategy. But looking at our reactions, we were all quite happy with all the picks, minus Guyton, right?
Yeah.
And Guyton could be a solid pick. And sure, they might have drafted a little bit more for 2 to 3 years down the line, which I said I did not want to hear this season. But I still give the class a B+ because we talked from day one about double dipping in the offensive line, which they did.
Yep.
We talked about drafting a linebacker, which they did. And then we talked about drafting a running back, which they didn't. And I said I'd be happy if we got 2 of the 3 positions. So they double dipped in offensive line and still got a linebacker. So I got to give it at least a B+. I think that we always preach that we want the Cowboys to do BPA, and I think that's what they did. They drafted the best player on their board, and I can't be mad about that. But it's a B+ just for it being an unknown and to see what happens for me.
Mm-hmm. A-Bess?
Yeah, I mean B+ in terms of, I mean, we talked about this afterwards. I thought about it more. I like a lot of the picks that we grabbed after watching through some of the film and some of the highlights and hearing other people talk about it, people who've actually like scouted on it. So, but still, I was wanting like a running back, selfishly. Not mad at the edge pick. Like again, I like the people they picked. It's just not what we did. So I'm very much more tarnished for it. all the later round picks, it's like the people that we kind of wanted. If they would have grabbed at least one of them, I would have maybe been a little bit more
Imagine
of
they
a
would have
homer.
if they drafted 2 guys that we had drafted in any mock
Oh,
draft,
yeah.
or like 2 of our big board guys the whole day.
A plus,
right?
But like we said, I'm also a BPA boy before a story slut, and if it's the best person available on their board, then I commend them.
Yeah, and I think it was. I'm gonna go B. The biggest question mark, though, and the one that can really make that drop, is the number 1 overall pick, Tyler Guyton. He's got all the physical traits. He's had some really great looking tape, but it's also matched with some really bad looking tape. So depends which Tyler Guyton shows up to the NFL and how quickly, or how much they can cram with him to get him up to speed. He does have the benefit of being on a line right next to Tyler Smith, and I think that's going to be pivotal for his first year. He can kind of rely on, okay, I got big dog here next to me. I just need to not let this guy run around me. And the other half of it too is playing right tackle and then being able to mirror that and how if that's even going to be an issue for him. I would think it would be an issue generally, but we'll see how Tyler Guyton deals with it. But I love his size. And he's got everything that he played a lot in college, played 3 years at least, maybe not as much as other people, but he's something just dinged in my ear. Did it ding in yours? Okay.
Oh yeah, we got a ding-a-ling.
Just wanted to make sure my computer wasn't having a seizure. But he's got the physical fundamentals. And now it's about the mind and if he's going to be capable enough to hold the line.
Yeah, I like the attitude that the first 3 picks have. Like if you look at the aggressiveness, actually even the first 4, because I like I do like that the linebacker pick where they got him.
Maurice.
Yeah, Maurice. I mean, these guys seem like they are aggressive. They're raw. I like the nickname of Cooper Beebe, the pancake.
Is that because he likes pancakes?
Bit of both.
Or he gives out the pancakes?
So yeah, I mean, look. What the fuck is going on with this thing?
One thing we can't.
Fuck you, you PC. But I like when we talk about having a lot of games and maybe not. He had a lot of good plays, a lot of bad plays. The one thing that year that when Tyler Smith was drafted and what everyone was saying is like, this guy is so raw. They got to be taught. He's undisciplined, and he turned out very, very solid. So the offensive line can always turn well with these athletic guys, and hopefully we get that in Guyton and Cooper. Because if you get those in those two picks right there,
it's an A.
Well, now that they're better than Hoffman and Bass.
And Cooper was a fucking a bonus.
Yeah,
like he was a bonus pick. Like that Cooper Beebe pick, he's never even a chance for the Cowboys to get him at 87.
No.
So if you get Guyton and say these guys both, we'll just say for PFF's sake, if we're throwing up that depth chart looking, week 8, and they're both like maybe not blue, maybe not green, but they're like not red or yellow.
If they're low 70s,
I'm happy with that.
Yes,
Low 70s is for a rookie, especially 2 that are playing out of their college position.
Yeah,
that's a win. So, again, it's a long time until we get to see these rookies play. But the Guyton pick and the BB pick are a lot easier to swallow with how the Cowboys got them.
6 foot, almost 8, 322 with a 34-inch arms. That's what you're looking for.
And loves the Dallas Cowboys. Couldn't have been happier to get drafted by the Dallas Cowboys.
And when I'm bringing a boy home to the bedroom, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, you ask him, hey, you like the Cowboys?
How much do you like them Cowboys?
And I think, right here, Marshawn Nealand, this might have been the Cowboys' pick of the draft. This might have been their best pick. Did we think it was a position of need at the time? Not really. We didn't think defensive end or edge, whatever you want to call it.
It's a position of need, but it was down the list.
The list. It seemed like more of a depth spot. But again, Cowboys went BPA, and they went and got Marshawn Nealand. And the more you read about this guy and the more you look at this guy, the more you like him. The more that you think about DeMarcus Lawrence is kind of maybe in his last year or two, this is a guy that's going to be able to get brought up by DeMarcus Lawrence. Lawrence is going to show him the ropes. He's very similar body build to DeMarcus Lawrence. He's taken in the same round as DeMarcus Lawrence. So it's
Has
it's,
a
it's
lot
nice
more
pick.
to prove than DeMarcus Lawrence. You're not going to hear them saying, "Man, I just got tired at the end of the season."
And one thing that these picks do share, I think almost all of those big four dudes is they're all kind of high motor. Well, I'll say Nyland and Maurice, high motor and violent guys, but same with the linemen. They're what I'm hearing is they're mean boys. Okay.
Yeah.
And I like getting a little nasty because the Cowboys have always, and I'm not calling them soft, they've always seemed soft against other teams, right? Like
They have been. They are. They have
Right.
been. They are soft. Sorry.
So-
you can call them soft because
Yeah.
they have been soft.
well, I'm just saying
He's wearing his AT&T hat. He's not
No,
supposed
no.
to say anything bad about them boys.
Football is a rough and tough sport, but they sometimes look like they get bullied by other teams at points when they should be the aggressors. And so if these rookies are coming in and going to have to fight for their right to party, I'm liking it. And I want to see them, I'm not going to mind a couple early flags if they're going to go out there and
I want to see
throw
Cooper.
someone to the ground.
I want to see Cooper Beebe lay out Micah Parsons in like a walkthrough. Something like that. That's
Would
what
fire
I
you
wa-
up?
Oh yeah, man.
Because last year when we were at training camp and Micah was like just walking through the line, and you're just like, oh man, shit.
I'd love to see one of these dogs take Micah down, or even let's even say a Nyland, take Dak out for the season.
Yeah. Well, what I did like about Nyland is there's a it's not necessarily the combine. Maybe it is combine, but it's like when all the college players get
Pro
together,
day.
the pro day, but they're like working out and they're just doing line work essentially, and
Snorting a couple rails.
snorting
just
a couple rails, just
off some
chilling,
butt
drinking
cheeks.
some beers, watching some baseball. Good old American fun time. But Nyland had a really good tape when he was doing his kind of. They still set up the whole offensive line, but then only two guys go. It was Nyland versus whichever tackle he was against, and he was just freaking almost getting to the quarterback every time. So or they don't actually have a quarterback back there, but you have to use your imagination. And I was high, so that was easy. But
I was high.
we never drafted him, but I always liked this guy. I just never thought it made sense to draft him in the second round.
I think
I'm
we
happy we got him.
we go back to those clips. We're like, oh, man, yeah, this guy seems pretty good, but he's an edge. We don't want an edge. Let's get what we need. We talked about position and need. I'm pretty sure on that line we talked about we wouldn't draft an edge, and here we are wanting to draft an edge.
But we had
We
were precogging it. Hey, we precogged it a bit.
precogged a little, but we didn't respect the precognition.
Yeah.
The
We should have
problem
known.
was
We should have
is
known.
We
were
would be
s-
shitty minority report people.
well, we were so set on a running back that's why we weren't looking at this. When you actually think about it, removing running back from the scenario, or just knowing, okay, if the Cowboys don't get who is the
Jonathan Brooks.
if the Cowboys don't get Brooks, then they're not picking a running back. If we kind of sussed that out,
Yeah.
I think we would have looked at D-line, because D-line is something that was depleted from 2023. Moving
I
into
think next year,
2024.
because this year we had a few scenarios where we were like, well, Edgerrin Cooper's here. We have to take Edgerrin Cooper. I think next year when we have a player like that in our brain, we have to be like, okay, they're there, but let's just say in our brain that they got selected earlier.
yes,
What would we do now?
right?
Because Edgerrin Cooper, yeah, he was our guy a lot of the draft. Same with Jonathan Brooks, Junior Colson even a couple times. But Edgerrin Cooper went almost. Where is he on there?
Yeah, we're looking at the big board, baby.
He went 11 picks before the Cowboys were even on the clock. So
Yeah.
I'm sure Nyland's. Nyland I think was even ahead of Edgerrin Cooper a lot of the times on the PFF big board. So
Great pick,
Great
6'3", 267.
that's a big dude.
He calls himself violent, physical, high motor, high effort. That's the type of guy that
From a smaller school, he's gonna have something to prove, even being a second round pick. Smaller school, lots to prove. I love the pick.
he's a Zimmer boy. Let me tell you this.
Yeah, that's a Zimmer pick all day.
Yeah.
He's the type of pick that makes you have Micah be able to go back and do a little bit more Micah things.
And
Yeah, totally.
Bocce says Zimmer's defense will not get bullied, and that kind of plays in line. He has a lot of Max Crosby vibes that they got from Nyland, is what Ultra's also saying.
Yep.
To introduce our next pick here in round 3, pick number 73, Botg says, when Zeke scores a goal line TD rushing behind BB, we will all say, crack him if you got him, baby.
Baby!
Yeah. Crack him if you got him, baby.
So-
That's I can already see that happening.
Yeah.
So this puts the asterisks on that decision to go with Guyton in round 1 because the trade back was so huge to get that additional 3rd round pick, which landed Cooper Beebe. Would you just a quick side cue?
Side quest. I love
Side quest.
side quests.
Give it up.
Would you have rather have had Barton at 24 or what we ended up with?
What we ended up with.
Yeah.
There, you got 2 darts at a board,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
I'll take 2 chances with anything, especially draft picks. Like
And it's a high 3rd.
a high 3rd. Like you could fringe 2nd round pick a guy that probably had BB probably had 2nd round grades for a lot of people. I'll take my chances with anything in the world. If you're going to give me 2 shots at something, I'll take the 2 shots over the one anytime. Because Barton, sure, he was the better prospect, but he wasn't that much ahead of Tyler Guyton at the end of the day.
Well, I mean,
Right.
originally they were going there in mind. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna trade back. Our target is Barton at 29. If Barton gets picked up, our next person is going to be Guyton, and we are fine making that risk based on our evaluation process here. So, but trading back will also now get us BB. So they were thinking we could possibly fleece this draft and get Barton and BB, double B. In this case, it'd be triple Bs.
But that changes their whole draft strategy if they get Barton, because they're probably arguably not going. They wouldn't ever have taken BB.
True.
If they took. So if we go back,
Oh yeah. Well, would they? Okay, so if Barton would have been
the center,
and then BB would have maybe still been
guard, and then
guard,
kick
sure.
tat. Okay.
So
I like that.
because that's what he played, right?
Yeah, that's actually
when we
a good call.
initially did our first eyeball test on Bibi, we're just like, this guy's never played center. This is a hard position.
Yeah.
You know, Will McClay is like Doctor Strange
Yeah.
in the Avengers, and he's
I ran through all the
12 million things.
I like that you used
Scenarios.
Doctor Strange instead of C-3PO. Oh, I've done all the probabilities, and this.
Well,
is
we're not talking about how many languages someone could tell. I'm C-3PO. Human cyborg.
You're about to drive through this asteroid field, and the probability to get through it is
C-3PO, the biggest pussy in the Star Wars universe. Love him though, by the way.
So BB 6'3", 322, and he was named Big 12 Conference Offensive Lineman of the Year for the last 2 seasons.
That's
the guy
juicy.
can play college football.
And his highlights, man, he's just knocking bitches around. He's just smacking people out, man. It's cool. Like he's flattening people. Which I like it. I like it.
And it almost looks like he's wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey already. In his photo.
So this is the funny thing that you brought that up, because Deuce Vaughn played for the same team, right? Kansas State.
Oh shit!
And so whenever you pick a Deuce Vaughn photo, you always pick his college one.
Yeah.
Where he's wearing 22, because they look very similar. Like right here, that looks like a Cowboys jersey.
It does.
The only thing with Deuce Vaughn is in college he wore 22, which 22 is what with the Cowboys.
They would never wear that. That's
Emmett.
It's retired,
That's
baby.
E. Smith, baby.
It's
It's.
retired.
I thought it wasn't retired.
It's retired. Well, it's okay. So
Nope,
8,
players
It's not
don't
an
want it.
official
Yeah.
retire.
8, 12, 22. What was the other one that was? We talked about this.
was
8,
that?
12,
Five? Lineman?
22, 54.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, 12.
And
I
I
don't know
think
why I said
those, at
five.
least those,
70?
yeah,
Sure,
there might have been
70?
one more and 0, I guess, by the sounds of
Yeah.
the Cowboys not wanting anyone to wear 0.
Because of fucking Rowdy with a 00.
Yeah, Rowdy,
which is so
fuck-
stupid.
Rowdy's a little bitch.
Give it up, Rowdy.
Yeah, you're not even that rowdy. You have a giant smile on your face.
Yeah.
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 You are Molly. That's
Our-
what your name should be.
Our first 4 picks are
not
Rowdy.
Yeah, they are.
Not naughty.
But yeah, Cooper Beebe, what more can we say? We needed the dude. He's mean. The only question mark, of course, is him moving into that center position. He's got to snap a ball. He's got to snap a ball well.
See, I would have felt more comfortable with the BB pick if we weren't expecting him to play center.
Well,
Yeah,
Realistically.
the weird thing, this is where you see people in comments, because you always look at comments. Well, I always look at comments on videos when people are talking about it. When other people are arguing about it, and I forget where I read it, and it's like, I don't know how people hear about this, and this is possibly they're listening to draft analysts and stuff, but apparently he's working with like a top level lineman who specializes with centers.
You want to hear how they hear it?
By
when-
guys like us?
No, when they're watching 18 hours of draft coverage, they're watching 18 hours of draft coverage. We're doing our own draft coverage. That's the
know.
difference. People come in here and tell us stuff during the draft or during Cowboys games that we don't hear.
I know.
Like, we don't hear the announcers. We don't hear that shit. We're doing all of our, like, everything we usually talk about is curated in our own brains, right? So
and if you're tuning in for the first time, he's not getting mad at me when he's explaining that.
I'm not getting mad. And if you're tuning in for the first time, hit that like.
We need
button.
closed
that like a
captioning.
surprise.
We need closed captioning up.
As we're at,
You can't
during the
do
game.
it during
Oh,
the game.
no?
It just gets slaughtered because it's live, right? So it's like
no, do you mean
some-
during the draft?
But anything live that we're doing,
it gets slaughtered.
Then we can read it.
It gets slaughtered. You try to, and it just I think we did try to do that one time.
No, I asked to do it, and then you're like, no, it won't work.
Because I've done it before, and it gets live stuff.
can throw it
Is,
up on this.
Maybe it's better. Maybe it's better on Tell Us. I don't know. We'll see. We'll
you
try.
got to think it's happening live. So I mean, AI might be getting good enough soon enough
Right.
that it's doing it instantaneously
Instead of some guy.
this.
yeah,
It's like
random
that
typing.
cat meme on the fucking keyboard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be okay with that too, though.
Yeah, the 5-second delay, because they're all 5-second delays from the actual live event. So it goes through the system. Closed captioning will be still delayed from that, but at least you get to see some of the shit that they're saying.
Our next pick here, Maurice Liufau. That's how I'm saying it.
That's what I've heard. Probably 20 different ways of people saying
Yeah.
it. So
The only thing I know is, I believe, and if I could be wrong, but with like Polynesian names, you pronounce
how it should be.
you pronounce every vowel. So instead of Liufau,
It's
or
Lee. It's
Liufau. Like
Ooh.
you
Oh,
pronounce.
okay.
This is, I might be wrong with that.
No,
but I think that's correct.
your pronunciation has been that's probably some of the best I've heard. So
And Cowboy Reg was saying earlier, can we please hear AJ say Maurice Liufau?
he just did.
And what's
he
the
just-
other
he
way
just did.
that people are saying it?
Lou, like they're saying
Lufau.
Lou foul,
Lufau.
Liufau.
Well,
Okay.
Lufau would be the L-U-I, not
which I think
L-I-U.
Lou is weird. I think Leah foul makes more
Leah
sense.
Foul.
Yeah,
Like
Leah
that
Foul.
makes more sense to me.
Either way, ML, 6'2", 234 pounds out of Notre Dame, a native of Hawaii, and
Hawaii.
he started the last 2 seasons and has been described as the most energetic player on the field.
I think he's going to be one of my faves, man. Not only do I love the position, I love a Polynesian heat-seeking missile, which this dude sounds like. I think a lot of people didn't like where the Cowboys drafted him, but if the Cowboys don't take him at 87, who are you getting as a linebacker?
You're fudged.
Yeah, that's why they
This is what we
went
did
with that pick.
This is
That's why they
when we that was a big. So take out the BB pick because we never got that. Well, we did it in a couple of drafts, like when we got additional picks, but that's exactly the conversation we have. If we don't take someone here, like we're deep.
You're deep.
There were people still available, but
And you know what the most position was for that when we said that? Well, if we don't take a running back now, we're not going to get a running
Yeah.
back.
yeah. Well, it was same linebacker and running back, and I think
I'm glad they got a linebacker.
they
man.
went with the harder position to find.
And he's a hard-nosed motherfucker, and sure, he has some, I guess, a little bit of flaws. Sometimes he misses tackles, but you know why he misses those tackles? Because he's going.
He's meeting
Yeah.
tackles. But this is
I'll
this,
take a guy missing a tackle at the line of scrimmage than a guy making a tackle 10 yards downfield.
Right.
Because you know what happens when a guy's breaking your tackle or at least trying to get around you? He's slowing down.
He's stepping off his path.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Well, he meets those measurables before we drafted a linebacker. When we were doing the draft show, we were talking about like what kind of linebacker pick are we wanting, and I think Mike Poland was on there, and he was like, as long as it does this, this, and this, and almost everything that he was saying that we were agreeing with, Liufau matches all of those
well, we
requirements.
came close to. I swear we might have even drafted him because
Looks like you got to rewatch some film.
well we looked at his draft buzz pick because I remember, man, I like
Yes.
the sounds of this guy. I like the sounds of him. And then we looked at his draft buzz and we're like, his draft buzz picks is just so
Yeah.
bad, right? But like,
Oh,
look
we-
how badass. If that would have been his draft buzz pick, if we were sold on him, and then we looked at the pick that you have on the screen right now.
Where you just get that freaking the Rock fucking bicep right
oh
there.
yeah, man, forearm smash coming at you.
Another knock on him was like he had very good coverage in his PFF rankings, but he was getting a lot of his a lot of the times when the person catches the ball, he's tackling them right away. So they're getting the reception, but they're not getting away from him.
Yep.
So he's got that coverage ability, which is really good. And also just read this nice little tidbit. He is the cousin of Puka Nakua.
I like that.
Bloodline pick.
Yeah, bloodline pick. Love it. We love a good bloodline pick.
All he has to do is come out there and be better than Leighton Vander Esch. And we've got ourselves a steal.
And just help out, you know, like our linebacking core right now. I'm liking our linebacking core compared to last season where we had our linebacking core going into the season last year was Damone Clark and Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah.
This year you're going in with
Kendricks,
Damone Clark, Kendricks,
Overshown,
and now Maurice Leafau. Like that to
who
me,
has 34-inch arms.
I like that. And also they brought back Damon Wilson. So another linebacker that the Cowboys had drafted prior years. So our linebacking room, there's at least going to be competition. And there, with Mike Zimmer, they sure as fuck ain't going into the season with 2 linebackers. Let's just say that. It's just not going to happen.
Well, Ultra was saying the rumor is that they're moving to a 3-4.
Yeah, possibly. And 3-4 is kind of a
hybridish.
Well, because 3-4, I mean, the Cowboys have essentially been running a 3-4 without calling it a 3-4 with Micah Parsons playing end. Right? Like and then you have your safeties playing linebacker. Like the Cowboys were running already kind of some weird hybrid 3-4, 4-3 defense. So it wouldn't surprise me. Tank and Marshawn Nealand are perfect ends in a 3-4 defense. So
another thing that I like about this pick is they show the behind the scenes recap or phone call. You know, that little sneak
the
peek.
secret audio,
which it's not secret if it's getting released.
Hey man, can I say something?
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys YouTube, it never will give you a copyright strike. It just won't do it. Let's just listen to it. Let's just watch it. Let's just
Alex
watch it.
Bring that up. Crack him if you got him.
Crack me if you got him. Well, AJ's finding it. I'm gonna go. I just did that, so I can take a sneaky little.
You got to also delay it next time. Let me crack mine and then switch to you. You do it every time.
I'm bad at for that, aren't I?
And sometimes Daddy can't switch so quick.
Okay, I got the secret audio. We're gonna wait till Lance gets back here.
You want to populate it on that screen there?
I will. I'm just gonna wait till Lance gets back. I gotta set it up.
Just gotta edge it a little bit.
Well, because I turn our quality down because the internet is sus down here.
Do not.
I'm just saying.
Do not ever say that. I'll fucking run a speed test for you right gosh darn now.
You can't. I don't think it's the speed test. I think it's just we have 16 things connected.
Doesn't matter.
Don't bring it up yet.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
But do you want me to bring up a speed test and I'll tell you what my upload speed is? I'm not going to do it.
I'll do a speed test right now.
Go do it
for the beeps.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, why would I do a speed test on mine? So are you running on the 5G network? You're not, but that's okay.
I am.
Oh, you are. Dude, maybe I capped you. That's not great.
It's not great, but it's fine enough to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
Fine enough for the girls that we
I don't like
take
that.
home.
That's not it should not have been it should not be that.
Okay, here we are. Secret audio, Maurice Leafau, Dallas Cowboys 2024 NFL Draft, posted 4 days ago.
Would you like me to full screen it or?
Yeah, full screener.
Okay.
Boosh it
We
in.
are on the clock.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to go the Notre Dame linebacker.
Hello.
Marist.
How's it going?
How you doing? Hold on
Marist.
1 second. Marist.
Yes, sir.
This is Jerry Jones with the Dallas Cowboys.
How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing great, but I'm really proud that you're now a Dallas Cowboy.
Thank you so much.
Boosh.
Well, we're excited about you being here. You're a hell of a competitor, and we're proud of it.
Hey, Marist, congratulations, man.
How's it going, Coach?
Hey, I tell you,
Great to
Zimmer
hear
can't
from
wait.
you.
oh, you bet.
Zimmer can't wait to get on the phone.
Yeah.
Let me talk to him.
Mike, give me the phone.
You're coming
Yes, sir.
to a great place, as you know.
I'm so excited, Coach. I appreciate it. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
You sold me when you told me what everybody on the defense was doing when you were here.
That's
right
huge.
there.
That's huge.
Because Zimmer, I remember reading, or maybe it was a video or people commenting on him. And one thing that Zimmer, he'll sit people if they don't know what everyone else is doing on the field.
Well, because how can you do your job if you don't know what everybody else is supposed to
And
do?
I think that's like part of his defensive scheme requires people to know that. So let's just finish this off.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, yeah, just I because it's cutting it off there a little bit with the full screen.
Okay.
That's okay. I was just say, what did he say? And that you guys said
Man,
it. So.
I had a great time.
Yeah. Well,
People can
you're
hear,
gonna
I
have a
hope.
better time now.
I don't know what to say.
Well, we're excited for you. You had a great visit, and we loved everything about you, man. Your tape's great. You're a great kid, great person.
Thank you.
You're really going to fit into our family here, man. Great.
I can't wait. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I can't believe we're going to get some of that Notre Dame gold mixed in with this blue.
Yeah. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Jerry's just always selling, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like the pick, guys, and he sounded super excited. I mean, granted, he just became a millionaire, but I like that Mike Zimmer likes him. I like the fact that he obviously studies. Like, you're not knowing what everybody else is supposed to do on the defense without putting in your time. And then to kind of double down on that and being a hard hitter and aggressive, all the mix I'm liking.
Yeah, that IQ goes a long way in the NFL. You got it.
You can't teach IQ. Like, you can't teach somebody that gives a shit and wants to learn, and you can't teach somebody that's going to be aggressive. It's just character traits, and 2 character traits that are great for a linebacker.
Look at this review they have here. Carson is a cornerback out of Wake Forest. No photo. But Kalen Carson, this was another dude who people absolutely loved, and he looks like he's going to be a really good opportunity for the Cowboys to have him play, potentially in a starting role. We do have he'll be, I guess, going up against Lewis, or Deron Bland might play some slot, and because I think he's more of a true outside cornerback. But a good pick for round 5, that number 174.
It's that round 5.
Hey, we love it.
DB pick, you know?
We love that.
We love that round 5 DB pick.
It'll also be interesting to see what this defense is like now with a different defensive coordinator as far as turnovers go. It'll be interesting. I mean, Trevon Diggs and Deron Bland, they're opportunistic guys. They're going to get their picks. But, yeah, Kalen Carson, round 5, perfect spot to take a CB.
Yeah.
You still have Al Harris.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So
True
you
that.
still have the DB whisperer there.
True. That's very true. A lot of people were calling for Al Harris to be the defensive coordinator for the team. So that's very true.
Like, look, if everything's lining up with a guy like Zimmer, who's going to come in and get that dog out of the boys, and you put a couple of these players that we're seeing drafted for the defense, couple them with the other guys that are coming back like Diggs, like, man, like it's defense is actually shaping, like defense is getting me a little tasty here.
Yeah, the only caveat that needs to be added is Kalen Carson is a 5th round pick, which means he was passed on by every other team until the Cowboys took him in round 5. What's the expectation? Are we hoping for too much? I mean,
it should be, he's just depth. Like,
just depth.
You probably won't even, realistically, you're hoping you don't see your 5th round or cornerback. Deron Bland, the only reason you saw him was injuries, even in his first year.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, you only saw him at corner or at nickel because of injuries. Right. So he wasn't even slotted in. And then even this season, or sorry, I guess it's last season now, when Trevon Diggs went down, you're like, oh my God, Deron was good at nickel, but now he's getting thrusted into starting right cornerback. And then the dude obviously had a record-setting season. So you're not expecting your 5th round cornerback to do anything, really. Any of these guys, 5th to 7th round, you're not expecting anything.
But high praise from Cowboys Nation, and a lot of people really like the pick.
And he's a cornerback out of Wake Forest.
Yeah. I mean, look, enough said, okay? Next up, we got Ryan. Well, we got all three of these
Flower, no why.
Flower, no why.
Flower, no why.
Ryan Flournoy.
Flournoy.
Wide receiver from Southeast Missouri State University.
What a weird name. Hey, welcome to Southeast Missouri State University.
Yeah. Well, it's just a small SMSU.
SMSU.
Smoosu.
Yeah. Last chance you.
4.4, ran a 4.4.
That's good speed. He's big.
Also, there was
two as well.
Also, 2 as well. He had one of the highest speeds, second highest speed in a drill that was ran. Of course, you know me, I'm not paying attention. I'm just looking at the actual numbers. But he was the second highest speed in a certain drill that was run. Is like he had like a top speed of 19.8 miles per hour. So the dude can move.
I think that's when they run in the line. They run in the line and they have a bunch of different sides throwing to them. So they run, catch it, run, catch it, run, catch it, run, catch it. So usually guys aren't running at full speed because they're stopping to catch, right?
But he was moving at that pace.
You're running and you're catching and you're slanging and you're banging.
Walking and talking.
This guy has the most opportunity, I think, out of these last 4 picks to actually make it onto the field more often than not, because the Cowboys are fairly thin at the wide receiver position. We have a lot of hope with the guys who are already on the roster, but if Flournoy,
Actually, I think I just listened to it too, and I was like, okay, that Flournoy.
I think if Flournoy,
Flournoy?
Flournoy, whatever,
Doug Flournoy,
Ryan
Doug Flournoy.
I think if
Ryan Flournoy.
if he comes to play football,
We should just strictly call him Ryan. And
Ryan, yeah,
Ryan.
he's got the big body, and if he can move and catch a football, that's all we need him to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the next 2 picks are definitely CanFan picks because we'll never not be able to pronounce their names.
Yeah.
Nathan Thomas is an OT from Louisiana Lafayette, who actually he was announced by the Mexican Cowboys fan that came out with all the geared up, and let's just say on our Instagram that post has popped. It has popped hardcore, and there's a lot of not nice comments and a lot of great comments. Nothing to do with Nathan Thomas, the offensive tackle out of Louisiana Lafayette. But again, I think a depth piece and just a hopeful add to the offensive line room in hopes of hitting a gem.
Yeah, so that's 3 offensive linemen in this draft.
Yep, it is. Let me get one of these in here. Crack me.
Get him,
God,
man.
son.
Yes,
Get one of
crack 'em.
those bushes in you. Okay.
And finally, Justin Captain Rogers.
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. Now, I did
Auburn.
hear this guy, someone, and it, might have been Guido. I can't remember, but someone did,
Might have been May.
It might have been May.
Someone did compare Justin Rogers to Hankins.
Okay.
So,
Big old body.
look, if he can come in and be that big body, he's nasty. Maybe he's not. Like, how many defensive tackles are going in there for a sack? There's not many in the NFL.
Just get your big body. Get your big
stuff a hole.
Yeah, just get your big
Get
body.
your big
in front of
body
somebody.
and stuff that hole.
Fall down in front of people.
Fall down in front of people. Don't
Jelly roll them.
Yeah.
Not
Create some
the country music singer.
Not
Create some
jelly roll the
roadblocks.
I mean, he would probably be a good defensive tackle also.
So
Too as well.
Guys,
I mean, look, I'm excited.
B+,
I'm excited.
I gave him a B+. Ad gave him a B+. AJ gave him a B. So we got all the worlds of it. So, and again, we would all love for it to be an A+. We just hope it ain't anything lower than what our expectations are. And realistically, out of all those picks, what would you say your expectations are? Like, how many of those picks do you expect to actually have a lot of playing time? And out of those picks, who do you think is going to be the best rookie?
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I honestly think there'll be 5 guys. 5 of those guys, the top 4 picks, Guyton, Nealand, Beebe, and Leo Fau. And then I also think either Carson or Ryan are gonna play a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Flournoy gets out there on the field quite a bit. And when I say starting, I'm talking about a quality rotational player.
Right.
Obviously, Guyton and Beebe have to be starters.
Yeah, they're out there.
They have to be out there.
But impactful.
Impactful, yeah. So
Like you could be a starter and still have a guy like
sure.
Flournoy possibly be more impactful, like even say he's not a starter, but he's a third down guy or a third or fourth wide receiver, but he has, somehow 9 or 10 touchdowns. Like that's huge.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. And we're missing, we don't really obviously CD Lamb is a big guy as well. He doesn't look like it, but he is a big boy. He's just very lanky. Who knows? Flournoy might be able to come in there and just take some pressure off him, or if they're gonna try to defend Lamb, maybe he's gonna be open in the red zone more. So that's what we're looking for. Yeah, if he ends up with 6 touchdowns on the season, I think that's a success.
Oh, huge!
That's a massive success.
Yeah, I agree. Ad, who do you think?
Baby, I think BB is gonna. I think he'll be the one guy that will be like, "Holy shit! Thankful! I can't believe we got that pick." Free pick, doing solid, but yeah, BB and Guyton are the guys that seem to have the biggest day one potential for us. I think they everything you kind of see from them, it's like, how could they not do well? How could they not
perform
perform
in the bedroom?
Because because they switched positions in the
Yeah, I know.
hardest league in the NFL. Which I get what you're saying, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, totally. But like that's like it. Yeah. So the other thing,
But you still ask that question.
Yep.
How are you not going to perform? Right?
but
true.
They
got the tools.
If these guys, these guys,
These guys, hey, you guys,
you
Yeah.
guys.
hey, you guys.
we're expecting that room, that Dallas Cowboys war room, knows more about these people in football than us.
Yeah.
So if you're drafting these guys as day one starters for that, and you have an incredible coaching staff who can kind of coach these players up, and you just expect that they it's like, how could you not fucking progress? Now that's saying that there's other players who go in there and it's like, this fucking guy, how do you even made the fucking team? Out of all these fucking NFL players in the world or football players in the world, you're on this team, like you suck, jackass. But they're massive people. Both of these guys are massive guys. And they seem
just block.
When people are saying Guyton's has the most athleticism on any of the O-lines in that round, and we got him, it's like, okay, well, I feel good about that.
Yeah.
So
just putting 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Getting together for me, I'm going with my guy. I'm going with Nealand. I hope it's not.
Yeah.
I hope it's not a Sam Williams rookie season where Sam Williams showed some flashes. It's going to be one of those situations where if Nealand's getting more reps than Sam Williams, it might be the writing on the wall for Sam Williams. So it'll be interesting to how that happens. I just like Nealand's size and what he could do for this defense. Will he be the most impactful? Maybe, maybe not. That the jury is out, but I like the way
Maybe go
that
fuck
he
yourself.
looks. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe go fuck yourself.
How about this? Over under 6.5 sacks for Nealand.
Oh, I got to go under.
Under?
Yeah.
I'll go over. Just
Nice.
to be the opposite.
That's tough. Year
That's
one,
7.
that's tough. I mean,
You know
if
what?
he goes over 6.5, I will be. That's definitely he's the most impactful rookie on the team.
Then I'm going to go Nooch at 6.5 sacks. He's going to get 6.5 sacks.
And you
could,
can,
and you
it
could,
can,
and you
Yeah.
could.
I like that. All right, we will be back on Sunday, guys. This is the official off season. We will be back every Sunday, every single Wednesday with the actual 2024 Dallas Cowboys roster. But there's a lot of things to happen, a lot of stuff to talk about this off season. So don't forget to show up every Wednesday, every Sunday. And don't forget to crack them if you got them.
Crack them if
And
you
look,
got him.
If you got an Eagles fan talking to you at work about how good their draft was and how much better that was than the Dallas Cowboys, you can tell them to go fuck themselves.
And then we do this one.
Ooh, daddy. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Who killer?